Welcome back to continue our discussion talking about fire safety. Joining me again is Dwayne Joseph with with the Coalition of Black Firefighters.
Yes.
I started to say 100 Black Men, but that's another group. And you are Anthony Payne. You're the
Yes.
president of the Coalition of Black Firefighters. So let's
Yes.
jump in. Now, we were talking about smoke detectors, and you were saying in some of those common living areas would be a good place to put them as well. I want to ask you about carbon monoxide detectors. Should we have those, and if so, where should we place them? Either of you.
Carbon monoxide detectors are very helpful also. They're a little bit more expensive than smoke detectors, but it's a very nice tool to have because that's something you normally don't think about. Carbon monoxide is a gas that after you came across it, you may start feeling dizzy or sick or anything like that. And there are some that you can actually get. I'm gonna give a plug at Walmart. It actually speaks to you. And they'll tell you when your carbon monoxide levels are high.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's one of those gases that you probably wouldn't notice. Smoke you can see and it banks down and it causes you to cough and everything like that. But carbon monoxide is one of those kind of gases that can sneak up on you without you actually knowing.
So with those kind of gases, even I'm thinking about, like, let's say if you have a pilot that goes out, what should we look for or notice smell, or what would we feel like? Because, you know, someone could come along maybe and light a match and it's highly inflammable in that area, so that we know to call to get the gas company out or somebody out. What should we look out for?
Well, if it's just the pilot lighting your stove, I would recommend that every time you use your stove, if you have a gas stove or oven, that you check to make sure it's turned off every time you use it. After you're done or before you leave the house, make sure you check it, because that gas can fill your home, and there have been cases of individuals starting fires or blowing up buildings because they turned on a light switch and it ignited that gas that had been seeping into that building while they were gone. So just the pilot light, I wouldn't suggest anything drastic. Just make sure it's turned off, and you can always relight those safely. So that shouldn't be a major problem.
Should we also sort of tune our noses to smells of what it smells like? Or you mentioned with carbon monoxide, we might feel kind of dizzy or nauseous or something like that. With gas, is that the same kind of sensation?
Absolutely. If you smell gas, or you feel that you smell gas, you should call your local gas company to come check it out, because you may have a gas leak. And you know, like I think as far as hot water heaters, some gas companies will come out like that for you. But if you smell gas, the safest route would be to maybe get out of the home and call your gas company.
Okay, because I think what you mentioned, Dwayne, is something I had never thought about, that you could ignite it just by turning the light on. I mean, we always think we have to strike a match.
Well,
You're saying a spark just from the light switch?
Yeah, it could.
Potentially.
It wouldn't happen in every single case, but it's a potential hazard. If you left your home and say you went on a shopping trip and you were gone for 4 or 5 hours and you were hanging out with some friends and your gas was left on, and it's a very, in a lot of homes nowadays, everything's very airtight. You don't get a whole lot of air in, so you don't get a whole lot of air out as well. So that gas can potentially fill your home and become hazardous to striking of a match or sometimes flipping on of a light switch.
Okay. Well, let me ask you about another favorite pastime, not of mine, mind you. Plugging things into electrical outlets, and we can buy extension cords that give us so much more capacity, or we can buy those power surges that give us, those outlets that give us a lot more capacity. Normally, I must admit, I do fill them all up, because they gave me 6, that means it's supposed to take 6. But how should I really look at that whole phenomenon? You're like, I can't believe this lady's saying this, but we all do this. I mean, I'm being honest.
The truth of the matter is, we do all do it. And if you, like I said, if you push TV forward and look behind there, it's a scary sight. You have the DVD, VCR, DVR, video games, TVs, everything into this one socket. And you definitely want to make sure you're cautious of what you plug up, because you may have 6 outlets, don't mean you may want to use the whole 6. Surge protectors are good. Surge protectors are good to use. It kind of evens out the wattage equally.
Okay.
And the button kind of is like a fail-safe type of situation. But because they give you those whole 6, don't mean you have to use it. I would say use the extension cord for what you actually need, and not just to make it a smorgasbord of a fire hazard.
Okay, now, oh, I need it all, you know what I mean? Now, with the particular outlets, though, and the surge protector, will they cut themselves off in general if there's starting to be an overload, or not really? Or is it just to protect from lightning strikes and that type of thing?
Some surge protectors have a setting that if there is a surge of power, that it automatically trips and shuts itself off. And there's usually a button on it that you can hit to reset it or restart it. And the button will be pushed in while you're using it. And if there is a surge that happens and it comes through your home, it'll pop that button out and let you know that it did its job, and usually protect your equipment.
So that's probably worth a few extra pennies it may,
Oh,
or
yeah.
dollars it may cost to buy that.
Absolutely.
In terms of
Right,
fire.
and that definitely helps against electrical shortages in your wall. That can cause a fire. Electrical short through the socket of the outlet, and once it starts inside the wall, by the time you find out that something's on fire, it's not too late, but the fire has already got started. So that's definitely an investment that may be worth it.
It's a good investment that we should use in moderation, because you don't want to have one surge protector with every television in your home plugged into
Same
it.
principle.
Because that's a lot of power going to just one outlet. So.
And sometimes those I have started to notice, sometimes those extension cords and that will tell you how much voltage. And so you can look at your appliance how much voltage, and you can see if you're getting a match, because they can only carry so much usually.
So many wattage, yeah.
Yeah, the wattage.
You wouldn't want to, and this might be an outrageous scenario, but you wouldn't want to plug a washing machine or a dryer into a surge protector if you had that adaptation to plug it into a wall. So you just kind of, like we said before, use things in moderation. If you think it's too large of an machine or something to plug into something like that, I don't think you should.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to plug a generator or anything like that into your wall or
So just be really
protector.
cautious,
Yes.
because you need to also have the capacity of your fuse box, right, to
Yes.
handle all that as well, or else that could bring you shortages. Is that right?
Yeah, you could easily trip a fuse. I mean, sometimes they'll cut themselves off, and sometimes, the unfortunate happens and they don't. So, and you can cause some things to backfeed and start a little, like Anthony said, a little electrical fire in your wall.
Okay, let me ask this question. What about, because I've noticed that from time to time, what about when your outlet gets a little bit black? Just a little bit. What is that telling us, or me? Is that I'm overloading it? Because I didn't have that much on it.
Something may be wrong.
How should I look at that? Because you can see a little bit of black on there.
You're really rough on your electrical outlets.
Well, I believe in using everything to the max.
Yeah, if you're starting to see some black around your outlet or something, I would suggest you call an electrician and possibly even shut that breaker off to that room, because that could possibly be an electrical problem, and call an electrician as soon as you can to get that checked out, because there is no telling what it could be.
Okay.
So I would suggest not using that outlet or socket and just shutting that breaker off to it and calling your electrician as soon as possible.
Okay, well, I will take that advice, and we'll take another quick break, and I want to come back and talk about some things that can happen in the kitchen, like with cooking and grease and stuff like that. Okay? Please stay with us. We'll be right back.